The Wolseys. The Wolseys may have been a peculiar family, but at first it wasn't clear how. They looked as normal as any family ever does. The father, Reginald, was a tall man with jet black hair. He had a kind manner and a jovial nature. His wife, Ruby May, possessed a warm smile and a gentle presence. Their son, Relk, was sharp-witted, with a firm resolve and a caring heart. But there was more to him than met the eye. He had a special bond with his sister, and was always there for her when she needed him most. Relk got his looks from his father, and his unfamiliar name from a secret family tale. Sofina was the youngest of the family, and her name meant strong-hearted girl. She was often called Nina for short. Nina was born with a witch's gift that allowed her to change the color of her hair and eyes, astounding her parents. Her mother would smile down at her and wonder who her little girl would turn out to be. The family lived in an average house on a street called Lime Grove. The children loved their neighborhood, but rarely had friends over to visit. It is very difficult to keep magic hidden, especially when you have an owl as a friend. One of these was Relk's best pal, named Raspy, for the strange hoot he made. With feathers as black as the night sky, splashed with the brightest yellow and green, he was a large and intimidating animal. Nina had grown up with her own owl, and they were also the closest of friends. Toots was small for his kind, but his brown outer feathers hid an amazing autumn-colored plumage underneath. The Wolseys were no ordinary family, and they guarded their secret closely. Those who discovered it would find themselves turned into a frog, a bat, or a toad. The family worked for the Secret Order of the Feathers, helping people all over the world. But it was easier said than done. Together, they always tried their hardest to bring joy and safety to the world. It was what they did best. Chapter 2. The Red Dawn. Our story starts early one Sunday morning. Nina's bedroom was dark and cold. Only a sliver of morning light peeked through the curtains. A clunk, a drip, and a glug broke the silence as the heating pipes began to warm the house. Nina stirred from her slumber, listening to the hustle and bustle of the kitchen downstairs. She loved this time of the morning, and the warm feeling of love and safety she felt from her family. But she was also excited about the day to come and the adventures it would bring. Toots slept silently on his perch, and the dawn illuminated the wonderful colors of his feathers. "You truly are a wonderful owl," Nina thought to herself. He began to stir, ruffling his feathers. This made him look as if he had a fire that glowed from within, which ran across every feather, down to his very tail. Suddenly the silence was broken as their mother called up the stairs. "Come on, you two! Time to get up! Breakfast is ready!" Nina jumped up at once. "I wonder what will happen today," she cried. "It's a Sunday," Toots moaned under his breath. Nina smiled. "Come on, Ladybird. There's a beautiful red sky this morning." Toots turned to Nina, looking wide-eyed. "Hoo-hoo! A red sky in the morning is a warning from Mother Nature!" he hooted. Nina considered what her friends said, but then dashed off to wash up. She grabbed Toots and ran downstairs for breakfast. Nina opened the kitchen door to the noise and smell of breakfast. "Good morning," said Reg, with a loving smile for his daughter. "You'll need to hurry up and eat your breakfast. Relk is waiting for you. You're both needed at the Order." Nina looked at Toots with excitement in her eyes, wondering what was going on. Now fully awake and with breakfast done, Nina hugged and kissed her parents as she hurried upstairs. She had a naturally sunny attitude, and she couldn't wait to see what the Order had in store for them. Back in the bedroom, Nina studied her wardrobe. She muttered, "What to wear?" Toots sighed. "Just put on something casual. You know that choosing clothes is a waste of time. When you travel through the magic mirror to the Order of the Feathers, the journey through time and space disguises the witch or wizard, so that no one will be aware." Nina smiled at her impatient friend. "I know," she said, "but I still like to choose." She grabbed a pair of jeans and a jumper, throwing a coat over her arm just in case. The two friends turned to look at the mirror, which stood next to the window. Toots, who hated travelling through the mirror, tucked himself in Nina's arms. "I'm here with you," she said, as she grabbed her wand and witch's pouch, reassuring her best friend. As she touched the mirror, Nina spoke the magic words of the Order and reached into her witch's pouch to sprinkle magic dust. "Witchy, witchy, woo, hear my cry, Mother Nature. I offer you the eye of a frog and the wing of a bat. Take me to the Order, past the darkness and into the light." With a swish, a swoosh, and a spark from her wand, they were gone. It was as if they flowed into the mirror like liquid. Through time and space their bodies twisted and turned, as light and darkness flashed past their eyes. When they arrived at the Order, Nina found she was now dressed in her witch's cloak. They stepped out onto the hard, cold stone floor. There was no warmth in the air, only the emptiness of the great hall, which was eerily dark. A few candles lit the dim corridor, and the smoke from the dying fire filled their nostrils. Toots was nauseated after passing through the mirror. He took a moment to compose himself, and then they both looked around for somebody to greet them. However, the room was empty and silent. Toots was annoyed and a little afraid. "Let's look for Raspy," he screeched, stretching out his wings as he hopped onto Nina's shoulder. Almost immediately, he wished he had remained in the safety of her arms. He felt vulnerable without the warm embrace. They walked along the long, silent corridor. "He will be in the inventor's room, on the left, at the end of the corridor," Toots hooted as quietly as it possibly could. Nina was both excited and scared as they ventured forward, holding their breath in anticipation of the unknown situation ahead. Suddenly they heard a deep, slow hoot. The closer they got to the inventor's room, the louder the hoot became. They were relieved to know they were not alone. Nina knocked on the worn red wooden door and peered inside. With a screech, it opened to reveal Relk and Raspy. Watching the inventor work, the room was dimly lit with candles, and only a small colored window let in any natural light. This was the first time Nina and Toots had visited the inventor's room, and they could barely contain their excitement. The walls were filled with books and inventions of all shapes and sizes. Some were even hidden under sheets, kept away from prying eyes. The inventor was a short man with a rather large belly. He looked up at them with a warm, friendly smile. Come in, he called. "We've been waiting for you." Relk greeted them with a half-smile. Nina knew that he was hiding something, which only made her more curious. "We have a job for you two," said Relk, as he handed them a scroll
but only if you're brave enough."
Relk knew that Nina would rise to any challenge he could set. He looked at Toots carefully.
"This task may concern your grandfather's disappearance,"
he said gravely. Toots had heard many stories about his grandfather, the great owl and head of the Order of Feathers, who had vanished when he was very small. His disappearance was a mystery. All anyone knew was the Red Witch and a black cat with green eyes had been spotted at the same time.
"This is an important assignment. You two had best be off," said Relk, with a nod of dismissal. Nina took the hint and scooped up Toots in her arms. The pair returned to the hallway in silence, wondering what adventures were to come.
Toots felt sick just thinking about what could happen. The great hall was now full of witches and wizards going about their daily duties. Lit candles shone brightly on the dark wooden walls, and the black and white marbled floor cast strange reflections. Looking at the magic mirror from the side was slightly daunting. It stood 10 feet tall, hanging on a small frame as if by magic. Nina opened the scroll and read their instructions carefully.
"We have to go to the cottage in the woods and look for a secret,"
she told Toots.
"One that will reveal itself without our knowledge."
Toots raised his eyelids and tutted, expressing his annoyance at such a vague clue. Nina smiled at him and continued to read the scroll.
"It says that the cottage will be nestled in dense woodland in an unknown environment."
Nina was apprehensive, worried at where they might end up. She took a deep breath, wanting to get on with the task and not be afraid. She shot a nervous glance at Toots and saw that he was also worried. With a deep breath, Nina touched the mirror and whispered the magic words.
"Witchy, witchy, woo, hear my cry, Mother Nature."
Reaching into her witch's pouch, she sprinkled her magic dust.
"I offer you the tail of newt and a whisker of rat. Give me the power to travel through dark and light. Take me to the cottage where I seek a secret that may not be understood."
With a swish, a swoosh, and a spark from her wand, they vanished into the unknown.